Act 3, Scene 5. Somewhere on the road. Dusk. You see those dark clouds? Stay on your guard. When the rain comes, it will come swift and fall hard. What if we lose their tracks? We won't even know if grandfather lives. Put your faith in the thoughts, Quick, and remember we act as their representatives. If Bazin desired your grandfather dead, already would he have done the deed. A trap is more likely, meant to lure us in our haste to have the good man freed. So long as his captor assumes himself protected by his master, he will not consider that his ill-conceived plans may end in disaster. That is where we hold the upper hand. Believe. Focus your will on the task ahead, and do not allow yourself to grieve. Grief is for those who have lost. Until you have fought till you cannot, you must hold out hope at any cost. I have seen men of his breed before, wearing their power as it were armor they wore. His kind prefers to strut about, to cow his enemies and fill them with doubt. He thinks himself immune to mortal power, but he will come to learn in his final hour only one truth remains when the battle ends. It is the most wisely wielded steel that wins. You expect him to be waiting, despite his degrading defeat? More so because of it. He will long to replace the unfamiliar taste with a sweeter meat. Cunning he will be, not content to contest me again unaided. Raquel enters at a run and falls.
Someone save me from an alliance ill-fated.
Proclaim yourself, and declare your intentions.
Can it be true? Oh, most timely of thoughtful interventions. Merciful master, I feared you were dead. There was fire and smoke, and forgive me, but my spirit broke, and I fled.
Raquel, my surly little servant I thought not to see anon. Where have you been, you wretched little vagabond? And what happened to you? Those bruises are fresh. Who or what did you so infuriate as to cause the creation of such conspicuous marks upon your flesh?
Bless the blind chance that brings us together again. A captive have I been, forced to play the convincing part of a friend.
The tooth which you took should have set you up well in another land.
My good master, after your teachings I am no more that man. You shame me with such accusations, when I came by it honestly, with your good will in mind. The tooth was knocked loose in your mighty struggle, and free in the dirt the fang I did find. I took it to keep safe in the unlikely case you were alive, but it was taken before I could return to see if you had, or had not, indeed survived. Many times I could have escaped, but honor compelled me otherwise. The thought of you, dead to the living, though in life not expired, convinced me the necessity of maintaining my guise. I knew you would need it to break the king's curse. Beatings are unpleasant, but failing you, my magnanimous master, to me is much, much worse. So beatings I took, and poor company kept, until the tooth was lost to my captor, and I planned my escape while he slept. By starlight and shine of a silvery moon, from my simple pallet I stealthily crept. Faith in the thoughts held me safe until the last sentry spotted me, and he leapt. These bruises I found in the struggle that followed. As the morning sun rose, my full hopes turned swiftly hollow, until a lucky strike to his windpipe knocked him back. I found myself free, and ran, until I came upon you, despite his attack. I see by your face that the curse has been broken. Oh, joy! Was it you, master, who seized from my captor the dragon's reluctantly released token?
It was I who took it, though needed it not. All fortune I have found, not from the land of our setting forth have I got.
You have it, then, whole and unblemished? Once used in our homeland's ritual, I have heard that its value becomes diminished.
It is complete, and with me it will stay, as will you.
Oh, most happy day!
You don't believe him? We can't bring him along. He will murder us in our sleep.
Or worse, break into song.
You were not awoken by his hot, lecherous breath. The very memory makes me long for his untimely death.
Lady, is that you who I met on the path down the mountain? Maddened by grief, my master's fate uncertain? Forgive me, gentle woman, I was not in my right mind. I had just left the only man who has shown me kindness in a dark cave far behind. You misunderstood my intentions and my plight. I meant to enlist your help, in hopes we could rescue this wounded knight. I beseeched, you recall, to share with you a fire.
That one part is true. As for the rest, I name you a thief and a liar.
First my company cruelly you spurned, now accuse me falsely when my true intent is learned. Master, these people you have allied with leave much to be desired. My pretend master hunts them for crimes that have transpired. It is to a wizard he is bonded, and for his lawful master fights. To apprehend them, or even slay them, is well within his rights. His camp is still close, and he will come if you raise the alarm. He is not a kind man, but just.
Melsine draws a knife.
Help! She means to do me harm.
I mean to see you dead, you wretched little worm. Peace. You will not abuse him. On this I hold firm.
Thank you, master, for reviving your trust.
If you side with this lunatic, you do not side with us. The both of you misunderstand my intent. I have decided his fate, and on this path I am bent. To punish him here would be my duty as a knight, but that title I have relinquished, and so given away that right. His treachery will end where this journey began, when I take him to meet justice at Cragmire's court in Garban. The penalty for deserting your master is death. I implore you, make proud your sweet mother, and utter nothing but truth with the last of your breath. Did you steal the tooth?
No more lies. On the ground the tooth I found, in sooth.
As our prisoner to Garban you will come, to learn the law of your own kingdom. The story as I see it, to Cragmire will I relate. Convince him of your innocence, or a hangman's noose shall seal your fate.
The master I knew was gentle and kind. He took me in when my poor mother died. Who is this man that now stands in his place, as though some doppelganger has stolen his face? I implore that once more you provide me protection.
I have lately grown wise to the ways of deception. Even still, for her sake I would spare you had I reason, yet nothing can undo your deplorable treason. Another set forth with us from Garban.
Ah, yes, as I recall, a rather gruff old man. Your grandfather?
He is.
And where is he now?
Stolen away.
Dreadful. Dare I ask how?
He was hit from behind, or so we surmise. The coward's tracks betrayed a stealthy and unscrupulous surprise.
My condolences.
Footprints there were, familiar in size and shape, with—
Surely you don't think—
With a cordwainer's mark from where I had the boots made. The very boots which even now adorn your feet.
Oops. Consider my treachery now complete. Your momentary ear was all I desired, whilst you were surrounded by the men we have hired.
Enter mercenaries from every side, along with their captain, swords drawn. Enter Bazin a moment later. Well done, little fool. A masterful deception. He continues to surprise. Pardon the interruption. He told me you swiftly would deduce what had befallen and come, yet still I believed you were wise enough to turn and run. A gem have I found in this scheming miscreant. Had you better used his talents, you might not be in this predicament. You are unworthy to be your good mother's son.
You are unworthy of that which you carry, tucked away useless to anyone. A fortune you would waste and give to the crown. Cragmire has riches enough. My only wish is to spread some around. And why would you do it? For honor? For duty? Diseases that have disabled men's reason for perpetuity. Even my fool mother would not have been so dense. She would have sold the thing, or found some sort of recompense. Your duty robs you of the tooth's wealth, and so I will rob you of the tooth itself.
You really should listen to the wisdom he speaks. We could use a man like you, with a few moral tweaks. The wizard's champion and the knight who slays dragons. Whole cities would cower, and offer their coffers to such exalted companions.
Where is our grandfather, you cowardly snake?
Bazin motions off stage. 2 mercenaries enter with the limp form of Drond.
Is he—
If I wish it, he will wake. Lay down your arms and join us, Sir Ekenroy, or most assuredly you all shall die. Call me no longer Sir, Sirrah, for no longer a knight am I. Address me as champion to the noble Spurion, a wizard who does not hide. Hear me all. 2 swords only this dispute shall decide. In fair combat I challenge this villain, one champion to another. He lies. Kill the old man, then the girl and her brother. The knight will save for last, so he can watch the others and weep. Well, I have paid for your services, and now our agreement you are obliged to keep. One of the soldiers holding Drawn draws his sword. Newly made champion to a wizard I am, by the father and the thoughts I swear. Harm that man, and I will strike you down.
Hollow words made to unhallowed air. What are you waiting for, men? Have you forgotten who controls your patronage?
On my honor, sir, I will kill the old man if you survive this challenge. If you do not, what matter to a dead man will it be? You, remind your man that he obeys me. In your service we were pledged to follow you here, but in a duel of equals we may not interfere. Coward! The law prevents it, not my own nerve. A law, I believe, brought about by the wizards you serve. Not even a king may challenge me thus, without fear of retribution. A lucky thing I am no king, but rather your peer, sworn to bring these people restitution. Too long have you flaunted your vaunted position, ruining lives with your careless decisions. In no better way may I honor my master than by achieving your death, and the peace that shall come after. For your sins, the debt you have incurred has come due, and if any man should lend a hand, his life shall be forfeit too. So be it. I am prepared for your skill this time, knight no more. You should have stayed in your cave, rather than brave the slow death you now have in store. They circle and the fight begins. Both receive wounds. They separate for a moment. Raquel darts in and slashes Eckenroy across the back of the leg, then darts away. Eckenroy falls to one knee. Fitting, you should bend a knee to your betters before we end this charade. Eckenroy rises shakily. I would not bow to you, though deep in the ground were I laid. Bazine attacks relentlessly. Eckenroy fends him off, disarms him, and kicks him backward to the ground. As Eckenroy begins to advance, Raquel darts forward again. Behind you! Eckenroy turns to fend off Raquel, as Bazine whips a dagger free and grabs Melsine. Enough! The noble champion of Spurion would never endanger the life of a helpless girl. Melsine grabs Bazine's knife hand, holding it back. I am a maiden of Netero, you insolent churl! She elbows him in his wounded side. Before he can recover, Eckenroy lunges forth and grabs Bazine's wrist. They go to the ground and roll. Eckenroy slowly forces the dagger into Bazine. Bazine dies. In the stunned silence, Raquel moves in and grabs the pouch holding the tooth. Eckenroy struggles weakly to hold on to it, and Raquel raises his dagger. I will not risk the wrath of a wizard, but what need has a champion of his hand? Off with it at the wrist, and return the tooth to the hand in which it began. Melsine mimics throwing a knife. Raquel drops his own dagger and cannot seem to decide between clutching at the knife, which now sprouts from his chest, or the tooth. The pouch tears and the tooth falls out. I told you once I would kill you if ever you came near those I love again. Why must the accursed knight always win? Reaches for the tooth. Over this I am slain. It does not sparkle. It does not shine. It has not the look of wealth about it. There is no light, though now it be mine. Raquel dies. Drawn stirs. Grandfather! Quick runs to him as Melsine sees to Eckenroy. The mercenaries share a look with their captain, then draw swords and kneel as one to Eckenroy. What is this? Our patron is dead, and thankfully so. It is you we have decided to follow. What need have I of hard men such as you? We are as hard as the master we are beholden to. To this one we were sworn not out of loyalty, but necessity. The coin he provided was for winter provisions to feed ourselves and our families. Your new position is likened to a king in some lands. Surely you have need of men to carry out your commands? From what we have witnessed, you are a man worthy of following, in whose service we would stand proud and tall. Such a master that a man might follow, were no coin offered at all. After this one, we could all use a taste of civility. Will you let us stand with you, and serve you in your newfound nobility? Please, my lord. The life of a soldier is all that we know. Many of us may turn to thievery, if we have no work before the snow. Bury these two, and we will to the wizard. It may be there is coin in his service, for services well and justly rendered. This business has given me much to consider. Rising to his feet. Now, staggers and falls back down. I need cloth for bandages, and someone gather boughs to fashion a litter.